telling you, David.
In the United States today, on average, there is about 2.3 to 3.5 million homeless people. Of these homeless people, 1 in 50, or about 1.5 million children, are included in the number of people. A person without a home is a major problem in the United States. It does affect the millions of people that are homeless in America, but it also affects you and me every day. They are using resources and taking money from the government. While they are taking these things from the government, they are taking them out of necessity. Homeless need our help, and there are many things that we can do to help them. Even in the 90s, when economic prosperity was very high, there was still a large number of homeless in America. Homeless people have only increased because of the recession that started in 2008. With the recession continuing, the number of homeless will only continue to increase. The definition of homeless is a person who lacks a fixed, regular, adequate nighttime residence. It can also be defined as a person without a permanent, safe, decent, affordable place to live. During the Great Depression, the people that were homeless set up Hoolervilles. This was a bunch of shanty towns set up in places such as Central Park in New York City and other highly populated cities where there was not enough jobs, so people became homeless. During the recession that we are going through right now, people are setting up tent cities. This is a group of people that are setting up tents because they have nowhere else to live and this is all they can afford. They have become popular in states such as Florida. The greatest area that has been affected by our recent recession is the urban areas. Homelessness in urban areas has increased because of the depression, because the cost of housing has increased while the wages of workers has remained the same or even decreased in some cases. Homelessness has always been the same throughout history and it still remains the same today. It is just that people are down on luck and they can't afford to pay for adequate living arrangements. While there are many homeless people in the United States, there are also many ways that we can help the homeless. The first way to help the homeless is to get the government more involved in this matter of the homeless. Even though the government does not have very much money because our country is going through a recession, they should still be willing to help our American citizens in their desperate time of need. If our government is not willing to help their own citizens, then nobody will help them. The first form of government that needs to be involved is the local government. Many of these people qualify for government assistance and this comes from the local government. Another way the government can help the homeless is providing housing for the homeless. There are different types of housing that the government can provide for them: permanent and transitional or supportive housing. In permanent housing, this is when the house that they are placed in is the house they will live in for a good portion of their life. Transitional or supportive housing is when the homeless are placed in a house until they can find a permanent house. This house is only designed for them to live in 1 or 2 years. The ultimate goal in providing housing for homeless would be so that they could find a permanent house, even if they must live in a transitional house for 1 or 2 years. With providing homeless with homes, this could eliminate a large number of the homeless, but it would never solve the problem of homelessness completely, because this problem cannot truly ever be solved. Another way that homelessness can be helped is with the idea of caring. What this stands for is C, contribution. Contributing would include food drives and money. It would also include other things along this line. The A in caring stands for advocate. This would be standing up for those that are homeless and doing anything possible for them. R stands for reach out, which this simply means that people would do volunteer work. People do work for the homeless even though they wouldn't be paid for it. And finally, E stands for educate. This would mean educating people on the homeless and how we can help them. Without education, then we can never possibly teach people how the homeless can be helped and what we can do for them. The caring plan would be a great plan and it could really help the homeless in America. Since I have covered the definition of homeless and how we as American citizens can help the homeless, I will now give you some statistics on the homeless in America. In the United States, as I said, there are between 2.3 and 3.5 million people, and it will only get worse as the recession increases. 71% of the homeless live in central cities, while 21% is suburban, and 9% live in rural areas. People that have some form of substance abuse, such as alcohol or drugs, are more likely to be homeless. Also more likely to be homeless are the veterans. Roughly 40% of the homeless today are veterans. Africans and Hispanics also have a very high likely number of being Hispanic. Alaska, California, Colorado, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Rhode Island, Washington, D.C., and Washington State are the areas in the United States that have the highest number of homeless people. In Missouri, there is about 6,500 homeless people. There are a lot of statistics for homeless in the United States, but I have given you just a few major ones. The homeless in America is a major problem that affects millions of people in our country. While it is a major problem that can be solved with just a little help from the government and from average citizens like you and me, if we all did a little part to help them, the problem would slowly be fixed.